As one of the survivors of that famous battle, I believe that I was the youngest soldier who took part, being barely 14 years of age. Yet its details, horrors, and incidents are as freshly imprinted on my memory today as though but a week had rolled past since. On that day, to my youthful imagination and enthusiasm, we had the most formidable and powerful army on earth. And I greatly wondered at the foolhardy audacity of the rebels in daring to give us battle. On my left, I noticed a soldier in blue uniform lying on the grass. The soldier was dead. He was the first I ever saw. His comrades had swept on and left his body to fill a nameless soldier's grave. How cruel and heartless it seemed.
With his election to the presidency in 1860, Abraham Lincoln pledged to stop the growth of slavery by prohibiting its expansion into the new Western territories. His election stoked a wildfire that had been smoldering for decades across the South, causing 7 states to secede from the Union in protest and form the Confederate States of America.
The feeling of unrest and uneasiness became intense in the South. The older and more thoughtful were filled with apprehension and gloom, but the younger and the thoughtless were filled with zeal and enthusiasm, encouraged by the belligerent tone of the Southern press and speakers.
Ready!
On April 12, 1861, Confederate forces bombarded Fort Sumter in Charleston, South Carolina, starting the American Civil War. President Lincoln asked for 75,000 volunteers to put down the rebellion. 4 more Southern states seceded from the Union, while 4 more debated their future Union ties: Delaware, Maryland, Kentucky, and Missouri. Though it sat on the farthest reaches of civilization, it was prized by both sides for its great rivers, crucial for moving goods and people, as well as its complex network of rails which linked the states. Hemp, principally for making rope and baling cotton, was its bumper crop. And like the rebellious states, Missouri citizens had the right to own slaves. Yet, by a 70,000 majority, its male residents had recently voted to remain in the Union. But Missouri's loyalty was by no means certain.
The state government of Missouri was in the hands of those who sympathized with the states which had determined to sever the bonds of union. And no one with any foresight could fail to see that unless some active steps were taken by those of us who favored the Union cause, our state also would soon be carried into the Southern Confederacy.
Forward, march!
As spring dawned in 1861, an unknown Army captain fresh from Bleeding, Kansas, would force many Missourians to choose a side. Nathaniel Lyon, a 42-year-old Connecticut native and West Point graduate, had a hot temper. Leading U.S. troops in Kansas Territory during the Border War, he had developed a sharp hatred for slaveholders.
It is no longer useful to appeal to reason, but to the sword. I shall not hesitate to rejoice at the triumph of my principles, though this triumph may involve an issue in which I certainly expect to expose and very likely lose my life. We shall rejoice, though in martyrdom if need be.